Us, and it is the Adrenaline Classic. Mike Gill and Mike Frankel set to bring you the live play-by-play and the video today on 97.3 ESPN.com and ACGlorydays.com. It's Mike Gill and Mike Frankel here live on a Saturday afternoon. This Adrenaline Classic getting us ready to start as Atlantic City takes on MLK here in the second game of today's Adrenaline Classic. The Prep won the first game in handily over Pennsgrove, but this one should be a very intriguing matchup.
It should be Atlantic City, a perennial favorite, of course, in South Jersey, but they're playing against an opponent not from South Jersey today. They're playing against MLK out of Philadelphia, a team that features a lot of size. You look at the front line, they have kids 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", and 6'5", Mike. So AC, although very skilled in the backcourt, not that big up front. Kevin Allen, really the anchor in the middle. They list him at 6'4", so the challenge for the Vikings today, can they match up inside against the Cougars?
Yeah, and this is a team here out of the Philadelphia League, and of course, they're ahead of the curve here. They've got a record of 8-4 already coming in, Mike, so they've got a little bit of an experience, and Atlantic City hasn't played a whole heck of a lot of games, but Gene Allen on with you this morning, and he really stressed the importance of defense. He said, if you can play defense, you'll play for us, so you know what Atlantic City is going to try to do. But one thing you got to wonder is, these new hand check rules, how is that going to really affect what Atlantic City likes to do?
AC loves to get after it, like you mentioned, in your face, man-to-man defense. It'll be interesting to see how the game is called because AC likes to play physical. They like to get up and down with teams and really body them up. So we'll learn early on if the Vikings will be able to play the style of defense they like to.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And obviously the Vikings come in here as one of the favorites to capture the Cape Atlantic League. They come in with a record of just 4-1 overall, just 5 games on the season. And obviously that's significantly less than their opponent today. But we know Atlantic City always goes out to play a tough schedule. And this is no different in Atlantic City today. Will be challenged, and they're going to really need a big effort from guys that I heard you say on the radio today. It seems like they've been here for like 10 years. Guys like Lamar Thomas and Kevin Allen, who've been really playing since their freshman year.
Yeah, just a few holdovers from those back-to-back state championship teams, and Lamar Thomas, Kevin Allen, really the main two guys that saw playing time in those great runs AC had a couple years back. Thomas getting some playing time as a freshman, sparingly. Of course, he's one of the leaders now as a junior, a team captain, a guy who needs to lead the way from the outside. He has unlimited range, so if he gets hot, look out. And then we mentioned Kevin Allen, the anchor down low. Again, played sparingly during those back-to-back state championships, but even light minutes during those runs, giving guys like that valuable experience. He's a guy that will need to stay out of foul trouble down low because he's really AC's last line of defense against a big MLK Cougars front line.
Well, Mike, obviously we saw the Prep right before this game. They dominated Pennsgrove. I think they ended up winning by about 30 when it was all said and done. And, a lot of people looking at the American Conference, Atlantic City and Holy Spirit. But we saw Middle last night. How would you really map out a Middle St. Augustine game that's going to be coming up down the road here? Really
looking forward to it. Middle after that hot start, I believe 6-1 now. Maybe not playing the best competition so far, but playing some pretty solid teams, including a St. Joe team last night that the Panthers really pulled away from in the second half. So I think as we get into this month of January a little bit deeper, a couple more weeks, we'll see some marquee matchups, some of the Cape Atlantic League's best teams going head-to-head. And in talking to Gene Allen, head coach of the Vikings today, he told me, honestly, a game like this doesn't quite mean as much as a league game, but for guys like us, it's a lot of fun, and it's certainly a measuring stick game against a talented, very big MLK team.
Well, it might not mean much as a league game because he's absolutely right. There's nothing that helps in the standings or hurts in the standings, but these are the kind of games these coaches want to play. I heard Paul Baruffi talking about getting competition to get you ready for the playoffs, and that's something that Atlantic City sees, this kind of athleticism in those Group 4 playoffs, specifically if they get out of South Jersey and you got to go up north. And Atlantic City set to go here with MLK. Atlantic City in the white with the navy trim, MLK with the black, purple, and gold as we are about set to run here from Richland as the Adrenaline Classic Game 2 is underway. Atlantic City and MLK. We got live video on our website, 97.3 ESPN.com. Try to keep up with it if you can. A couple teams that want to get up and down. Taim Harmon with the basketball, the point guard for the Cougars of Philadelphia. Down low on the block here. Get it to Rasul Samir, and he's a big guy himself. We'll tell you more about him in just a minute. Cross-court pass into the corner down onto the block, and Samir gets double teamed. They put it into the paint, it's a turnover. Atlantic City on the floor with it now, and on the end line, Atlantic City has the ball. So Kevin Allen playing some good defense for Atlantic City.
The Cougars testing the water early on. They get it inside to Rasul Samir, 6'7", but they learned right away Kevin Allen may not be as tall, but he's a tough body in there.
Pressure from MLK. Atlantic City beats it with ease, and they get a bucket on a transition. Lesion Redfern, the first two for Atlantic City. They look like they were very comfortable against that press.
Redfern, a guy that didn't get a ton of minutes last year, did get some varsity experience, but certainly in the starting lineup this season, he's one of those guys that needs to step up for AC to get back to those glory days of a couple years ago.
Up top, between the circles, McCall taking the ball to the basket, and he's bumped on the way to the hoop, and it looks like we're going to have our first foul called here. Just a two-man crew with the officials here at this Adrenaline Classic. A lot of these tournaments, you see the three-man crew, which brings out an extra whistle, which means more fouls typically.
Yeah, we like to keep it moving. Two-man crew is just fine with us.
2-0 Atlantic City, 6:55 to play. Cougars inbound the ball, streaking to the basket, in and out, no good. Rebound comes down to Allen. The miss there by Sammy Foreman. Into the corner. Thomas for three, airballs it, and the rebound comes down to Bell. Bell in transition, gets it up the left sideline right in front of us here, left of the lane, cross-court pass, skips it up top. Three ball on the way by Bell. It's long, and the rebound comes down. Atlantic City's got it. Here comes Williams. Williams right of the lane, all the way to the hoop, and a layup is good for Jamal Williams, a guy who you don't hear a lot about, but really nice take there.
Another guy played sparingly at the varsity level last season. Again, changing the guard. They need big minutes from him this year. The Vikings do.
Foreman with a three, and that one's in and out, no good. The rebound comes down. Foreman gets it, and there's a loose ball on the floor. It goes out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Cougars. 4-0 Atlantic High, 6:08 to play here. 97.3 ESPN, 97.3 ESPN.com. The live video. Matt Ulmer's got the video today. Cougars inbound. Get into the corner. Foreman with a long jumper, no good. Rebound comes down to Thomas. Atlantic City will give him that shot.
Absolutely, and you're already seeing the Vikings able to box out down low. That's how you take advantage of a team that's bigger than you. Got to put a body on them, doing a nice job early on for Gene Allen's club.
Thomas and Redfern, the guards, up there with Williams, and of course Allen and Prevard in the front court for Atlantic High, who comes in with 4 and 1. Nice cutting pass, and he hits the slasher. Shot is up, no good for Williams, but he was fouled. And Jamal Williams will get to the line. 4-0 Atlantic City leads with 5:44 to play here. Oh, no, they called it on him.
Yeah, I think they called it travel there, Mike. They're going to say put the dribble down, picked it up, and put it back down. Tough call early on, but you have to like the aggressiveness from Atlantic City, even with the turnover.
Near steal on the perimeter here by Redfern, who's a good defender. McCall gets it into the corner, puts it on the floor at the elbow, cross court down, it's tipped, and it goes out of bounds. Atlantic City gets a nice hand on it, so the active hands of the Atlantic City defense.
Absolutely. Across the board, almost every position, MLK is bigger. Now the question is, do the Cougars want to try to take advantage of that, working inside? We've already seen them jack up a couple long threes. Don't know if that's really their game. If I were the coach, if I were Sean Olson, I'd try to take advantage inside.
Harmon all the way, dribble drive and a bucket, and they're on the board. Are the Cougars 4-2, Atlantic City in the lead. Pressure from the Cougars. Full court, they get it in. Thomas, swing pass to Prevard. Prevard crosses the timeline, right in the lane. The layup, and he's knocked out of bounds, and it'll be Atlantic City ball. Boy, his arm and the ball left together, and no call there.
Yeah, sort of a bang-bang play there. MLK, if the Cougars do pressure full court like that, they're going to learn very fast that AC likes to run and can run. So this one could very easily turn into a track meet pretty early here.
You'll see St. Benedict's later today as Allen catches in the paint and powers his way in. You'll see St. Benedict's prep later on today. MLK lost to them 53-44, and St. Benedict's is a top 25 team in the country. So that is a nice test for MLK that they were in that game. Up top, Harmon between the circles, gets a screen, uses it at the left elbow, now pops the pass into the corner for Williams, or excuse me, Foreman. Foreman cross court, right of the lane, all the way to the basket, streaking in. The layup can't go down. The ball's on the floor. Coming up with it is Bell. Bell puts it up and in, and McCall, and it's now all 6-4 game is second chance points.
Getting a sense of what MLK can do inside. Obviously much bigger than AC down there. Vikings need to continue to try to box out, not able to do it right there.
Yeah, very active as Thomas throws a pass to Redfern and gets knocked out of bounds and into the game for the first time for Atlantic City. This is Ryan Fader, and he's an interesting story. Had a back problem last year. He's a junior, very athletic, didn't get to play last year because of injury, and now he's the first man off the bench.
this rotation going to change for AC in a couple weeks too, Mike. A couple transfers will become eligible. So some guys trying to earn playing time right now for later in the season.
Allen trying to dribble through traffic to no avail. It's stolen away. Harmon has it, kicks it off on the right wing. They go baseline, a little underhand pass. Now out to Harmon for three. It's short, and the rebound comes down to Thomas. Outlet pass for Prevard. He catches it, and he'll throw it down. Prevard, normally he's on the other end of throwing the pass. This time he caught it and stuffed it. 8-4 AC, 3:44 to play here in the first. Good pitch and catch by the Vikings in transition. Harmon uses a screen at the top of the key. Now he rolls it off to Foreman. Foreman with a long three, and the rebound comes down to Prevard. And Prevard will bring it up himself. He's the quarterback of the football team, and he throws an interception right there. It's picked off and taken the other way, and Foreman goes coast to coast with a layup. And it is 8-6 Atlantic City.
Not a pick six, a pick two there, Mike, but certainly a pass that Jameer Prevard would like to have back. You love the athleticism at one end. Have to be a little smarter with the basketball, trying to bring it up and beat that pressure.
Left side for Prevard. Fader at the elbow. Looking for some separation. Between the circles, backing out is Redfern. Off to Thomas. Now Prevard has it on the wing. Staring down a man-to-man defense. They try to entry pass into the paint for Allen, and it's stolen away. Here comes Foreman for the Cougars. 8-6, they trail with the ball spinning. Fires one into the corner. A three ball on the way, and it is in and out, no good by McCall. And the rebound comes down to Jamal Williams, and Atlantic City is going to take a timeout. Gene Allen calls it with 2:36 left to play. 8-6, they lead here on 97.3 ESPN. Live video on 97.3ESPN.com.
Coach firing the basketball off one of the officials there. No ill will intended, sort of a light moment here as we move through the first quarter. But you're getting a sense of how this game could play out, Mike. Again, you don't want to harp on it too much, but MLK much bigger than Atlantic City. So the Vikings have to get creative, find ways to get the basketball inside if they can. We saw that last possession on offense for the Vikings, maybe trying to force it a little bit to Kevin Allen. You want to get a guy like that involved, but not when he's double and triple teamed by some trees down there. So if you can get it in, great. If not, work it around the perimeter, look to drive, and look for an open shot. AC has shooters. That's maybe an advantage the Vikings have over the Cougars.
Yeah, and obviously Atlantic City likes to use their defense, and they've got a couple tips, got a couple steals here, but the offensive side, they got the half-court offense, it seems like, where they've been struggling a little bit. That entry pass has been tough. We saw that last night with Mitchell for St. Joe's. Middle Township just took it away all night.
Yeah, a little bit different situation. I mean, St. Joe had to get it to Mitchell. He's their go-to guy. Allen, clearly one of the Vikings' leaders, but they do have a lot of other guys capable of scoring. So if it's not there, don't force it.
Atlantic City leads 8-6, 2:23 to go here in the first quarter. Up top for Lamar. I've seen him pull up from there once in a while, so it's not.
And a little bit deeper, too.
Yeah. Redfern back to him on the, Thomas on the right wing. Here's Prevard. Prevard spins at the left elbow to the right side. There's the long jumper for Thomas. It's the front of the rim into the hands of Allen, who gets the second chance. Now Allen goes baseline, puts one high off the glass. It's no good, and the rebound comes down to the Cougars. Here comes Harmon, crosses the timeline, hits the deck, regains his composure. Off to Foreman. Foreman spins at the right elbow, and then it gets a shot blocked by Fader, and the rebound comes down to Prevard. Prevard streaks down the middle, loses the handle, but he was fouled first with 1:40 to go. Nice block by Fader.
Yeah, great help defense by Fader. Obviously wasn't his man. He helps off of his man, comes over for the block. And those are the hustle plays, Mike, we're talking about. A guy like a Fader with this team changing in a couple weeks, some new guys coming in. What are you doing right now to earn that playing time for later in the season? And Gene Allen will love plays like that from a kid like Fader.
And Fader with the block is going to take a seat for Atlantic City. As Kevin Allen gets it in the corner for Prevard for three in the deep left corner, and it's off the top of the backboard over the top, and it will go to the Cougars. So Atlantic City holding to that 2-point lead, 8-6 with 1:33 to play, but they have struggled in the half court, and now they'll show a little pressure on the full court press.
Yeah, struggling on offense, put the half court set on, the full court set on, see if you can turn them over, get some easy points that way.
Now the Vikings kind of back off a little bit as Jamal Williams guarding the point. Looking for a screen. They use it at the top of the key, bouncing between the traffic into the deep right corner. A three ball on the way is Rogers. It's no good. He's just into the game. The loose ball is run down by Atlantic City. It's tipped off and into the hands of the Cougars, Tyree Marshall, and he's just into the game and scores his first bucket.
I think they're going to get him for a foul there, Mike, and you get have to give a lot of credit to Lacion Redfern. He's in there battling a guy at least 6 inches taller, able to put his body into him. And really, I believe they called an over-the-top situation there on the rebound.
Yeah, so take the basket away for Tyree Marshall. 8-6, light whistle there, but no call or no basket, and Atlantic City gets the ball back. Coming up on a minute to play here in the first quarter on 97.3 ESPN and live video on 97.3 ESPN.com. All the way to the basket, nice take. It's missed. Allen with the putback, it's no good, and it goes out of bounds, and the Cougars will get the ball back with 55 seconds to go.
Nothing going to be easy for Kevin Allen down there today. That looked like it might be easy, sort of a follow-up off the miss. But, again, MLK converging on and making things difficult for a little bit undersized Allen down there.
McCall bringing the ball up. Harmon now on the deep right side. Gets it down on the low block on the right side. Up and under move, and there's some whistles as he took steps. So you got a big guy there in Tyree Marshall, 6'8" senior, but couldn't get his feet planted.
And give Kevin Allen credit. I mean, not able to convert at one end, but he comes back, plays some solid defense, able to stand him up and draw the turnover.
Allen is one of those mystery players in this league. He could score 25 in one night and the next night score 2. Crossing over Redfern into the corner. They get it to Lamar, who cross-court pass for Prevard on the right wing. Prevard's 3, rattles in and out, no good. And the rebound comes down to Marshall. Here comes the Cougars with 19 seconds to play in the first. Down on the block and an easy lay-in there as Rogers, the recipient of that one, and we're all tied up.
So much for holding for one, right? Press the issue. Now AC with a chance for the final shot.
5 seconds to go. Crossing over is Williams, spinning into the paint. He kicks it out for Thomas, who gets a good look for 3. It goes! And Thomas cans a 3 as the buzzer goes off, and Atlantic City on the power of that 3 takes an 11-8 lead into the second quarter. A nice look for Lamar, and he hit that one way behind the three-point arc.
Classic Lamar Thomas. Shooters are going to shoot. You saw him miss a couple threes earlier on in the quarter, but not exactly an open look there, but with the clock against him, has to get it up, and a few guys better to give the ball to in that situation anywhere in the Cape Atlantic League than a guy like Lamar Thomas. Again, only a junior, but so much varsity experience, not afraid to take that big shot. And a good quarter for Atlantic City. They were able to jump out to that early lead. MLK chips away, able to tie it, but anytime you get a big momentum boost like a 3 at the buzzer, has to feel good for the Vikings heading into the second quarter.
Yeah, Mike, and obviously Atlantic City did not play a great quarter there, but what they did do is they forced some steals, and that got them out in transition, but their half-court game has not been what they probably would hope for. And, you know, a lot of times Atlantic City is not known for the half-court offense. We understand that, but when you want to make those deep runs, one of the classic things about those teams that they had in the last couple of years when they were winning those state championships was they got a lot of transition points, but boy, they hit some big shots, and Thomas like that, they hit some big shots there too.
Thomas obviously a holdover from those state championship teams, but a lot of new faces and new spots. And Gene Allen even telling me this morning, last year he said, hey, we underachieved, you know, losing in the Cape Atlantic League championship game to Wildwood Catholic, bowing out in heartbreaking fashion in the second round of the Group 4 playoffs against a very talented Southern team. So he says they underachieved last year. Well, guess what? A lot of those same guys are back. It's time for them to achieve this year, and really a competitive game so far against a very solid MLK team.
Start the second quarter here on 97.3 ESPN, live video on 97.3 ESPN.com, and check out acglorydays.com. They have all our games online as well. As we're live action here, 11-8 Atlantic City with the ball. They turn it over on their first possession. Here comes the Cougars, 3-on-2 numbers. Atlantic City gets back, and a little jump shot from the foul line as Nazir Bell gets his first 2, and it's 11-10.
Decent transition defense there from AC. Bell just pulls up and able to knock it down. Not the easiest shot in the world, but a good finish there.
Defensive intensity going up here, and it calls another turnover as Thomas just fires one out of bounds. And, man, I'll tell you, Jabari McCall was right in his face.
Yeah, MLK just bigger across the board as we're talking about, and making life miserable for AC trying to bring the ball up. They need to look, AC does, to pass it a little more. Dribbling against this pressure, not going to get it done.
Bell and Marshall at the top now. They bounce past it to the left of the lane, going baseline, and a little reverse layup. Them is short, and the rebound comes out for Allen. Allen thought about a fast break, then pulled it back. Smart move there, gets it to Redfern. Redfern now looking at a man-to-man defense from MLK. Left elbow, they leave it to Lamar. Back to Thomas. Thomas straight on 3, and it is off the back iron, no good. The rebound's tipped up and into the hands of the 6'8", Tyree Marshall. Atlantic City has Jerome Chailly into the game for the first time. He's 6'4", give them a little bit more size.
Gene Allen going a little deeper into his bench earlier on than we're used to, but against an athletic team, you want to give some guys some some timeouts there on the bench.
And doing something you don't see them do as McCall travels there. You don't see Atlantic City play a lot of 2-3 zone, but that kind of looks like what they were doing on that possession there.
Well, this will be, if they're able to get this win, this will be a good coaching job from Gene Allen, because it's a team that's just as athletic as Atlantic City. So you have to get creative a little bit, and you saw him go to his zone defense there.
Lamar Thomas being pressured. Boy, he is really getting some pressure from McCall. They get it up to Redfern on the right wing here for Pavard. Pavard on the bounce pass on the block for Allen. Allen shot, it's blocked. He just ripped it right out of his hand, did Rogers, and it was a jump ball. I mean, Allen, on a typical Tuesday night against Absegami, he makes that bucket, but when he's staring up at a guy 6'8", that ball got ripped out of his hands like a young child.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Mike, against a lot of people in the Cape Atlantic
League. Were you going
League.
to pick Absegami?
No. Took the words right out of my mouth, though, because, yeah, against a lot of guys in the Cape Atlantic League, that's a bucket. But he turns around, and he's got a guy, 6'7", 6'8", standing over him.
All right, here comes the Cougars down by a point with the ball. 6:04 left to play. You were going to go Oakcrest, weren't you?
I was thinking Oakcrest, maybe HT.
Down on the block, spin move, reverse there by Marshall. Now he reverses the ball to the right side. Right wing, double drive to the baseline, cross-court pass, gets it to Bell into the deep corner now, goes baseline, and a reverse layup is good, and McCall is really giving him some problems on defense, and now the layup.
Yeah, McCall with a very athletic move, goes baseline, finishes with the reverse layup. You're seeing AC have to scramble a little bit on defense. Great ball movement from the Cougars to start the second quarter.
First lead of the game for MLK. They lead it by a point. 12-11 with 5:36 to play. And here comes Greg Edelbach into the game for Atlantic City. As Edelbach making his first appearance here at 5:36 of the second.
He's a senior. He's waited his turn to play and now getting some minutes in a valuable situation.
And Atlantic City can't get another bucket, and here they're struggling in the half court again. And the Cougars come up with it. 5:26 to go, getting a shot at the elbow, putting it on the floor to the paint, loses the handle off the backboard, side of the glass. It comes down to Atlantic City, and spinning a little bit out of control is Redfern. He tried to flip it to Edelbach, but they got him for a walk first.
Got caught in between there. Did he want to go up and try the layup himself? Did he want to kick it to Edelbach? And as a result, turns the ball over. You can't have those situations happen, especially in a game like this. You have to take advantage of when you're able to get out and run.
12-11, Cougars lead the Vikings. 5:05 to play in the second quarter. Marshall with the ball high over his head. Now he dumps it off between the circles at the elbow. Bounce pass down low, and it's off of Marshall's hands. He's 6'8". That was a little low of a bounce pass.
Good defense from Pavard there. He was almost able to get the steal and maybe a run-out situation. Wasn't able to do it there, but sags down on defense and forces the turnover. And
MLK with 4:56 left to play here in the half is going to take a timeout as they want to talk some things over here, is getting a little sloppy on the offensive end themselves. It is Hoop Jam 2015. Mike Gill and Mike Franco live here at St. Augustine in our Hoop Jam 2015. Tonight, don't forget to stick around after the game as we'll pick our Boost Mobile player who gave their team the biggest boost. And you can, take a look at a couple of things already. Some early candidates in this game. Last night we had a game with very few scores. Today, all over the place, very balanced. So a lot of players competing for that award today.
Jameer Pavard with that monster dunk in the first quarter. That'll certainly give you a little bit of a boost. And he's a guy who really has to get involved for Atlantic City. You've seen maybe some light scoring games from a guy like Pavard at the varsity level last season. For AC to be successful this season, that can't happen. He has to be a guy to contribute. You have so many other players stepping into new roles. A guy like Pavard, who's seen some experience there at the varsity level, has to take that next step, has to put the points on the board. He's had a couple good looks for three, a couple good shots rattle out, so I can expect him to continue shooting. Those are going to fall eventually.
Yeah, and Pavard, just a great athlete. We were driving home last night, and I mentioned to you, he kind of reminds me of, I don't want to say he's on the same level with Deshaun Reynolds, who's probably more of a basketball player, but they have those kind of intangibles where they can shoot, they can drive, and they can play defense if they feel like it.
Right, well, and if they want to play, they're going to feel like it, especially for Gene Allen. But yeah, there's football, basketball guys, really a couple athletes that excel at both sports, and again, both of them very athletic.
Atlantic City coming out of the timeout with 4:44 left to play here in the half. Thomas goes baseline. He goes up between the trees, and he gets fouled. Good take, though. And, this is the first time you're going to see somebody go to the line in this game, and we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of takes to the basket like that.
Strong move in there, throwing your body into the big MLK defenders. That's the only way to get it done in there because you're not going to be able to shoot over them. But that's a veteran move right there. AC all of a sudden struggling a little bit on offense. Try to get some easy points at the line.
First one's good by Thomas as Back into the game, Tyree Harmon, who started the game, getting himself a little breather. As the second one's no good. Rebound ripped down by Chase Rogers. Crossing the timeline right in front of us here is Foreman. Foreman crossing over on Thomas. Little no-look pass. It's blocked away by Thomas. Boy, had a clean look at the basket, but Thomas, great job getting back. Comes down to Prevard, crosses the timeline. Back up top. Putting the ball on the floor, crossing over. There's a big boy right there in front of us. You'll see him in the third game today.
Oh, yeah.
If you just saw him cross our camera. Into the corner. Prevard for three. Short, and the rebound comes down for Foreman. Foreman, 1-on-3, no numbers, and he turns back out to set it back up. Coming up on 4 minutes to play here in the half. In the deep corner, now on the wing, right side is Harmon. Harmon getting a screen, rolling off of it. Elbow, nice little pass down on the block for an easy layup for Tyree Marshall, and they've set that play up now opposite side.
Harmon making it easy for the big guy Marshall down low. Harmon does all the hard work, draws the defenders in, kicks it to an open Marshall, and for a guy that size, that's a basic finish.
Yeah, Marshall 6'8" senior and down low, and that'll block shots blocked away by Marshall. So he's making his presence felt. Here come the Cougars up by 2. Out on the left wing, 3 ball on the way by Bell, and it is no good. The rebound comes down to Allen, and here come the Vikings. Back in transition, Prevard. Left hand, gets a shot blocked away by Marshall. So back-to-back swats by the 6'8" Marshall. Here come the Cougars, back in transition. Top of the key, leaving it off. Foreman thought about a three, and he put it on the floor and bounces back out. Left elbow, right hand floater, and it is off the rim, no good. Rebound the Cougars, and Allen blocks it out of bounds. We got some up and down action now as off the bench for Martin Luther King. They're going to get more size in here as Samir Rasul replaces Marshall, who's had a nice defensive presence.
Kevin Allen outnumbered down low. He's really the only AC big man or the only guy that plays down low, but he's doing admirable work down there, boxing out in the last possession, able to slide over and get the block on that possession.
14-12, Cougars lead the Vikings with 3:02 to play here in the first half. Cougars will inbound underneath their own basket, get it in, dumping it down to Samir, who's just into the game. Using the left hand, McCall goes to the basket, kicks it out. A little extra pass on the right wing. Now a little floater with the right hand, no good. But right there for the rebound is Rasul Samir, and he gets the loose change and puts it back in. 4-point lead, the biggest of the game for MLK.
Critical spot in the game, Mike. Obviously, we're still in the first half, but MLK starting to show its dominance, and another steal here.
Thomas gave up the dribble. He left his feet and threw it away, but then he takes the charge to the other end, so good job. But he lifted up, thought he was going to throw a pass, but the guy wasn't looking, and then on his way down, he just let the ball kind of go.
Got caught in between, of course, but instead of Gene Allen yelling at him, you come down and you draw the charge. So a great way to get back in the good graces of your head coach there.
I'll do anything rather than have Gene Allen yell at me. Anything.
Makes two of us.
Dentist appointment.
Root canal.
You name it. That's the last thing I want to have happen.
They call him Mean Gene for a reason, Mike. Actually a great guy, but he expects a lot out of his players, and for the most part, they respond.
Bounce pass on the right side. Jamal Williams. Down low for Allen. He gets double-teamed. The ball's on the floor, and the Cougars come out of the scrum with the ball with a 4-point lead, coming up on 2 minutes to play in the half. Right of the lane, all the way to the hoop, and the layup is strong. The rebound comes down to Allen, and here come the Vikings. Atlantic City down by 4 with 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We are moving in Richland today, and a shot thrown up by Williams, and it's short. A little bit of contact, but no call. They're letting them play here. Bell with a little 15-footer. No, he turned around and threw it back out. Foreman, cross-court pass to the right side, going baseline, leaving it out for Foreman. A wide-open three. It's short, and the rebound. Here come the Vikings yet again. Williams crosses the timeline, left hand to the elbow, fires a pass down low for Redfern. No good. Rebound comes down to Harmon. Transition back the other way up the right sideline. Come the Cougars, one-on-one, and dumps it off, and it's stolen away. Nice strip there by Redfern. Here comes Atlantic City, and we still have a 4-point deficit for the Vikings. We're at 1:20 to play here in the first half.
No easy layups for the Vikings this game, Mike. MLK just too big.
Allen splitting defenders, taking it to the rack, and he is fouled, and that's the second time we've seen a good, strong take and get to the line.
Allen really doing a nice job, and I'm not sure it's showing up in the box score so far, but he's doing the little things down low, boxing out, helping on defense, on offense, trying to gain position so at least AC can try to get that entry pass and kick it back out for three. They're not going to score a lot of points down low, but they have to at least probe that defense to open up some three-point shooting.
For a limited time, Boost Mobile now offers you double the high-speed data while dropping the price on limited talk and text. And now with double the data starting at only $35 a month, hurry up. This offer will not last forever. Visit boostmobile.com, your local Boost Mobile retailer. For details, visit Boost Mobile by J Communications in Egg Harbor Township, in the MGM Auto Mall, 6400 Black Horse Pike, or 26 North Main Street, Pleasantville. Offer ends the 15th of January. Allen misses a pair, and MLK ends up with the miss as it gets knocked out of bounds. We got some changes for Martin Luther King. Still a 4-point lead, and Atlantic City historically struggles from the line. Today they're just 1 for 4, and that's the deficit in this game, a 4-point game for Atlantic City.
The way this one's shaping out, Mike, defensive struggle, it could be the first one to 40 would win this one.
1 minute to play in the half, and Atlantic City putting some pressure on. They get the ball down in the right block. Allen going one-on-one, and a shot short for Marshall, and the rebound and the putback is good. And MLK, Bell with the putback, gives them a 6-point lead as just basically get some second chance points there.
Yeah, garbage bucket down low, but give Bell a lot of credit, able to take advantage. And big possession here for Atlantic City. Do they hold for one? Got to try to cut into this deficit here, get it a little closer at the half.
Pervard on the right side, bounce pass down low as Redfern had some decent position there on Bell, and we got a whistle. So Gene Allen trying to post his guards up now because he sees that Allen has a little bit of a size disadvantage down there.
Absolutely. Down by 6 on the scoreboard, but you look at the foul differential, and AC doing a nice job staying out of foul trouble against a much bigger team. Could pay dividends in the second half.
Edelbach back in for Atlantic City and taking a seat for the Vikings. With Minar Harris. And there's their whistle. Official kind of coming in there, talking to the guys in the lane series. Now there's some discussion here on whether this should be a one-on-one shot or was it a foul. And the violation was the one-on-one. So because it was a one-on-one and there was a violation, there's the shot there. So no opportunity to even shoot the basketball there. So Atlantic City now really shooting themselves in the foot.
Really a tough break there, and I think Kevin Allen is saying he was kind of nudged into the lane, but the officials didn't see it. You don't see that happen very often, but you lose a chance for 2 points there. A violation on the front end of a 1-and-1.
20 seconds to play. Here we go. 6-point lead. MLK going into the half here. Dribble drive to the basket. Bell spins back out. Foreman gets the handoff. Stared down here by Redfern. 10 seconds to play. Crossing over, right side, right of the lane. Shovel pass down low for Marshall. Oh, he missed the bunny, but he was fouled. That could have been an easy 3-point play.
Sammy Foreman, a big-time Division I type move right there. Shakes his guy almost out of his shoes, able to dish it off to the big fella, Tyree Marshall. Kind of a bunny layup for a guy that big, but with a little bit of contact, he misses, goes to the line for 2.
Kingpin Bowling, a great place to roll for a Super Bowling Sunday. Come out and watch the big game with friends on one of the 12-foot Kingpin high-def screens. Reserve your lane for up to 6 people for only $85 through the game, and your group gets unlimited pizza, wings, nuggets, fries, and soda as he makes one of 2 there. Full court shot by Thomas is good right in front of us. As time expires, Thomas drains the 3, and he might replace Sullivan in the opener.
Wow, how about that? That was from literally half court. I believe his foot was right on the line, right in front of our table. Certainly a shot AC needed. You'll take it any way you can get it there. All of a sudden, a back-and-forth close game turns into a little bit of a lead for MLK heading to the locker room, but instant momentum, Lamar Thomas. Mike, we talked about his range. That was outside his range, but he'll take it. Lucky shot there, but hey, a great ending to a tough first half for Atlantic City.
He ended both the first and the second with 3s, and Atlantic City cuts the lead to just 4 for MLK. 19-15 our score here at St. Augustine Prep. Mike Gill and Mike Frankel will take a timeout. We'll come back with the third quarter of play and get you ready for that. Coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN with live video streaming on 97.3ESPN.com. It is our Glory Days Magazine Game of the Day. shot that was shot here by Andrew Sullivan from St. Augustine a couple of years ago. We might have just replaced that in the opener as Lamar Thomas hits a half-court three as we went to half, and it's 19-15 Atlantic City trails, but they'll have the ball to start the second half. That could give them some momentum.
We had the best view in the house for that too, Mike. As soon as he threw it up, I said, wow, that's online. And then splash. Big momentum boost for AC. The Vikings really needed it.
They sure did. They got the ball back after that three. They got a chance now to make this a 5-0 run. They got the basketball down 19-15, but they turn it over right out of the break, and here comes the Cougars. Martin Luther King 19, Atlantic City 15 here on 97.3 ESPN and 97.3ESPN.com live video on the Glory Days magazine. Game of the week is Tyree Harmon hits a three. The first three of the game for the Cougars, it's 22-15.
That was a rhythm three, too. Stepped right into it. Any shooter will tell you love to step into a shot. AC making it a little too easy there.
Down low, Allen shot, short, rebound Redfern. The rebound is up and good, so a nice little putback, second chance points for AC.
Track meet's on now, Mike. Here comes MLK.
Foreman with a layup on the track meet, as you mentioned, just running out of the make there. And Atlantic City kind of jogging it up the floor now. I want to slow down that pace. Here comes Allen, left of the lane. Allen shot a little fade away. It hits off the back iron, rolls off the rim and into the hands of Bell. And here come the Cougars. Lead 24-17. Crossing the timeline, splitting down the middle. Harmon with a little layoff for Marshall. And Marshall lays it in. It's good. And all of a sudden, Gene Allen wants to take a quick timeout. 26-17. AC takes a timeout. They trail it with 6:52 left to play here in the third, and it looked like MLK might have changed their philosophy at halftime.
Making some adjustments there. We thought it might be a momentum boost for AC with that half-court shot, but MLK starting to assert itself in the half-court set. Also breaking some Atlantic City pressure. Way too easy, an uncontested layup off of full-court pressure. AC with a little miscommunication there, a missed assignment somewhere because it led to a run-out and an easy bucket for the Cougars.
Fast break in there for the Cougars, and they lead at 26-17 as AC takes a timeout. Down 26-17 with 6:52 left to play here in the the third quarter. And Atlantic City with the basketball looking at some full court pressure from MLK. Brevard inbounds the basketball. They get it to Allen. Allen bringing the ball up. They kind of have him bringing the ball up the second time in a row. He's done it. Staring at a little man-to-man defense here. Right side for Brevard. Brevard gets it up top. Thomas at the foul line. Allen, little ball fake, dribble drive, gets a shot up. It's no good, and it's tipped out to Foreman, but he dribbled off his foot right to the hands of Redfern, and he puts it in. So a turnover for the Cougars, and Atlantic City jumps on it. 26-19, coming up on 6 minutes to play here in the third. Dribble drive all the way to the basket. Harmon with a little shot, no good, and the rebound comes down to Brevard. Boy, he had a great look at the basket, just couldn't get it to fall down. Now Thomas catches. 18-footer spinning off the hands, no good, and the rebound comes down to the Cougars, and there's a foul. That one didn't look good coming out of his hand.
Gene Allen not happy about it either. You almost have a 2-on-1 break, and for whatever reason, Thomas did not have the angle, so he takes a step to his right and jacks up a contested two. Not exactly the shot you're looking for in that situation.
Redfern called with the foul. Cougars with the ball. They lead 26-19. Dribble drive all the way to the basket. Redfern has no choice but to foul there as nice step there. Good explosion. As we mentioned at halftime there, Mike, they have some physical guards, too. They got some size, but their guards are big. They're physical.
Across the board, we're not just talking about size inside. They really match up bigger than the Vikings at every spot, 1 through 5. So it's going to be up to AC to adjust a little bit, whether that's some help defense, whether that's some trapping. But they need to start to turn the Cougars over if they want to chip away at this thing, because matching up man-to-man against a bigger team, it's an uphill climb.
Chris Marsh entering the game for the first time, and Marsh, a junior, 6'6", giving Atlantic City a little size. And Williams back in for Atlantic High. The second one is good. Missed the first one. Did McCall at the line. Makes it a 27-19 game. You got Allen bringing the ball up again here for Atlantic City. Allen crosses over, gets across the timeline, right side, down low for Marshall. A little left-hand hook shot, no good. And the rebound comes down for Marshall. Right corner for Foreman. Foreman dumps it down low for Marshall, and he just loses Marsh, and he can't get the layup to fall, and Marsh gets the rebound. So Marshall caught it and just I think he was surprised how open he was.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like an easy shot, but not able to convert.
Allen now a little out of control, but gets it to fall. So Kevin Allen saying, look, I'm going to take some control of this game right now. Right back the other way. Here comes Foreman. Layup is no good. They can't get that to fall. They got two good open looks in a row. Privard cuts the lane, shoots up a shot, and it goes! And he's fouled, and Privard, boy, two shots in a row, a little out of control, but they both went down.
You want to talk about a momentum swing. It looks like two easy buckets for the Cougars at one end. They both rattle out. AC on the other end, able to get two tough baskets to go. One from Kevin Allen, sort of a circus shot off the backboard. And then you have Jameer Privard slicing down the lane, pressing the issue, forcing the contact, but able to get the friendly roll. He'll try to complete the three-point play. All of a sudden, you look up, AC just down by 4.
Yeah, and this would make it a 3-point game, one possession if Privard can hit here. Atlantic City not been very good from the free throw line, and Privard adds to that with a miss. Rebound comes down for the Cougars, and they get a little transition. Here we go, one-on-one, gets it into the corner. Atlantic City gets back nicely, but a nice move to the basket by Bell. Boy, they can't get the Bunnies to fall, and that one rolls in and out. Bell missed it, and boy, Privard tried to put it through the legs, and he lost the handle right to Marshall. So 27-23, 4:48 to play here in the third. Sloppy play both sides. Atlantic City trails by 4. Harmon crosses over. Stop. Get a hand on it. Thomas on the floor. It rolls to Foreman in the corner. Cross-court pass. 3-ball on the way from the left side. It's off the back iron, no good. The rebound is knocked out. Williams hits the deck, and it stays with Atlantic City as that ball rolled right towards our table here as we are at half court in St. Augustine. Privard will inbound the basketball, trailing by 4, 4:29 to play, Mike, and a lot of up and down, skittish play here.
Lamar Thomas, great defense on one end, stripping that basketball away.
Thomas off the inbounds for 3, front of the rim, no good. He had a really good look, and that's what you're really, you're okay with him taking that shot.
Yeah, AC catching another break here as two Cougars ball handlers, both trying to go for the ball at the same time and run into each other. Ball goes out of bounds.
Privard inbounds on the left sideline. Gets it in, he dumps it back to Williams. That's not the safest pass, and it's nearly stolen by Harmon. Boy, usually a safe little throw into the backcourt, but Harmon did a great job of defending. He got to get across the timeline here, and Williams just does. Now he's taking it all the way to the basket, right in the lane, kicks it into the corner. Thomas for 3 hits the side of the backboard, and Marshall pulls down the rebound.
You don't see that very often from Lamar Thomas, usually a dead-eye shooter, but way off the mark there.
McCall tried to dribble drive to the basket, and he ran right into Marsh, hit the deck hard, and it's a foul on Chris Marsh. But, that's what you have him out there for. Give him a quick run, and he's had a couple of rebounds and made a little bit of a presence.
Marsh is a big guy, not that skilled yet offensively. He's got some time to develop his game there, but already by inserting him in, you change the thinking from MLK.
And off the inbounds pass, a wide open, it looked like they caught Atlantic City napping a little bit there, Mike, but a foul called, so no basket there. Kevin Allen on the foul. They just threw a little inbound pass from the right block to the left block there.
You're seeing on a number of occasions AC not quite ready to start playing basketball when the ball is ready to go.
Harmon will inbound. He's the trigger man underneath his basket. Now a 3-ball on the way from Foreman. Foreman shot high off the backboard, no good. Rebound comes down. Allen had good position, and there's a foul called, and then we got dueling whistles here. Nope. It looked like Frank Burbridge was going to come over and discuss it, but the call is on 20 on Nasir Bell, and that's his second foul. Both teams, relatively clean game so far for two teams that like to get up and down.
Allen drawing the over-the-back call there. That's what we're talking about. He's overmatched size-wise down low, but he's doing a nice job doing what he can down there, although turns the ball over. They need him to bring the ball up the court because the pressure is just too much right now on the Atlantic City guards. The problem is you have a forward bringing it up against a guard, so there's a lot of pressure on him. AC has to figure something out to try to get the ball across the timeline.
Yeah, MLK really doing good job applying that pressure. They still lead by 4 with the basketball and 3:40 left to play here in the first half. Don't forget the divisional playoffs coming up at 4 o'clock here on 97.3 ESPN today and tomorrow. Full coverage of those playoffs. Holy Spirit will be in action here tonight. They take on the Haverford School at 6 p.m. Inbounding the basketball for the Cougars. Harmon trying to trigger it in, gets it in, a bounce pass to Foreman. Foreman gets some separation with a left-hand dribble, gets to the elbow. Down low for Marshall, and Marshall loses the handle, and here come the Vikings.
Lamar Thomas with the strip there. That's the second time in about 3 possessions we've seen him get a hand in there and force something to happen. So AC doing what it can, although undersized, trying to turn the Cougars over a little bit.
Jamal Williams brought it up. Here comes Privard, baseline, and he gets a shot blocked away by Marshall. His 3rd block of the game unofficially. Here comes Harmon, left sideline, streaking down. Gets a nice pass for Bell, and the layup is Good, he get that one to finally roll. Boy, they've had a lot of layups go in and out today. Easy looks that they couldn't get to go down. That one finally did.
I'm not sure there's a guard, maybe Saeed Nelson for St. Augustine, but I'm not sure there's a guard as quick in the Cape Atlantic League as Taheem Harmon is for MLK.
Atlantic City trails by 6 with 2:46 to play here in the third quarter. Up top for Prevard, thought about a three, left of the lane, all the way to the basket, lost the handle, and it's knocked out of bounds, and it looks like it'll stay with the Vikings here with 2:38 to play, and into the game now is Chase Rogers, a 6'6 senior. A lot of size on this Cougars team, and jumping off the bench for Atlantic City now. Munir Harris, who had an early run in the game, he's 6'5 as well, giving Chris Marsh a seat, and Marsh had a nice little run there.
Yeah, Marsh giving Atlantic City some great minutes there. Doesn't get to play a lot, but making the most of his minutes.
Allen gets the inbounds pass. They get it back to Allen between the circles. Now he thinks about a straight on three, and Allen gets it just long, and the rebound comes down to Rogers. Rogers gets the outlet pass right up the right sideline here to Foreman. Foreman at the right elbow. No look pass over to Marshall, and Marshall's layup is good. So more transition buckets for the Cougars. They lead it. Biggest lead of the night, 31-23, with 2:10 left to play here in the third quarter. Atlantic City gets it off on the right wing to Prevard. Prevard at the right elbow to Harris just into the game. Now Lamar Thomas thought about a long three. Cuts the lane. Scoop shot, no good, and the rebound down to Rogers. Here comes the transition. Get a chance for a double-digit lead now for Foreman. 15-foot jumper is strong, and the rebound comes down to Thomas. Here comes Prevard, one-on-one to the basket. He cuts the lane. He's fouled, and it goes. And Prevard, every time MLK starts to creep away, he gets a big bucket.
That's a tough finish right there, too. You see a little bit of a Euro step. Not an easy breakaway there. It's basically 1-on-2 near the rim, but Prevard able to get it up off the glass, in control, and it goes down, so a chance for another three-point play. I'll tell you what, though, Mike, Atlantic City needs to start making some free throws in this game. A game like this, that can be the difference. Overmatched inside, you see a guy like Marshall having his way at both ends. If Atlantic City can't make free throws, really going to be an uphill climb.
Prevard at the line here, trying to make this bucket, and they cannot convert from the foul line, as they have struggled there all game long. 31-25 after the miss. Cougars with the ball, crossing the timeline on the left side. Up top comes Harmon, guarded by Allen, by Thomas in a man-to-man look by the Vikings. Gets a screen from Marshall, uses it between the circles now. He's guarded one-on-one with Allen. They got a mismatch in the low block. They get it off to Rogers. Back to the right side for Harmon, standing out on the Paul Rodeo signature here at St. Augustine, and there's a off-the-ball foul.
Lamar Thomas matching up with the big guy down low on a sort of a switch situation there. Thomas was doing a nice job, but as soon as the entry pass came in, he had to foul. He's outsized by about 8 inches down there.
Vikings get Fader back in the game, and it's not often Atlantic City's outsized, but they are clearly outsized today. Cougars trying to inbound, Harmon trying to get it in. They get it in to Bell, who catches right in front of Allen. Coming up on 1 minute to play here in the third. It's been controlled this quarter by the Cougars. MLK driving all the way to the basket. Here comes a nice easy layup for two for McCall, and that one was a little too easy.
Those hand check rules coming into play there. You saw Thomas with a hand. He pulled it back, and the result was he lost the angle, and McCall able to lay it in.
Under a minute to play here in the third quarter as Thomas goes left of the lane, kicks it to Fader for three. Fader thought about it. Now he goes baseline. He runs into the defender, and it's an offensive foul as Fader kind of lowered that shoulder.
That's a shot you have to take on the outside, especially against a bigger team. You see an open three against a team like the Cougars, just take it. I know Fader came in right away off the bench, and you don't always like to jack up a shot, but if you're open, you're open. Have to take that one.
50 seconds left. Cougars lead by 8, 33-25. Their biggest lead of the night's been 9, and they can pass that with a bucket here. Atlantic City putting some pressure on. They get the trap, but the Cougars bust right through it. Atlantic City now retreats on defense, and MLK just crosses the timeline. McCall on the left wing. Dumps it now to Rogers, who goes up for a dunk, and it's blocked by Allen, but into the rebound gets it is Marshall. Allen working hard down there, and everyone's kind of staring at him.
Nothing you can do. Marshall's just that much bigger than anyone Atlantic City has right now. You can box out all you want, but if the rebound's going to come off up high, he's going to grab it and finish.
Biggest lead of the night, 10 for Cougars. The Cougars here with 15 seconds to play in the third. Atlantic City holding for 1. Thomas has hit a 3 at the end of the first, at the end of the second, and he's got the ball here at the end of the third with 5 seconds left. He dribble drives all the way to the basket. He throws up a shot, and he's fouled. whacked in the middle of the lane. Oh, they're going to call him for an offensive foul there. Boy, he ran into 3 Cougars, and I guess they picked the guy in the white shirt.
Yeah, the one Cougar, I didn't catch the number, but he was set up in the lane basically with 10 seconds on the clock. So you see Thomas driving the lane. He didn't have to move at all. Thomas barrels into him, offensive foul.
So Thomas elects not to go with the 3 this time. He dribble drives, gets called for that offensive foul, and that's the way this third quarter is going to end as Atlantic City trails 35-25 here on 97.3 ESPN, live video on 97.3 ESPN.com and acglorydays.com. Mike, obviously Atlantic City struggled in that quarter with just 10 points, and offensively half court has not been their forte today, but really now they're struggling with some pressure here, and they're turning the ball over too.
This is a game Atlantic City absolutely has to make some three-point shots, and you've seen some spectacular ones at the end of quarters from Lamar Thomas, but other than that, the Vikings ice cold from beyond the arc. So you're not going to be able to get it done inside against a team with guys that are 6'8", 6'6", 6'7". You see Tyree Marshall really having his way at both ends right now. So you need to be able, if you're Atlantic City, to hit some threes, and now down by 10 going into the final quarter, nothing to lose here. Go ahead and jack up that open shot. We talked about a guy passing one up to drive, only to go on offensive foul. So if you have a 3, take it. AC can make them. They just haven't been so far.
Yeah, Atlantic City getting Lamar Thomas. He just has those 2 threes. He hit the 1 3 to end the first, the 1 3 to end the half there, Mike, but he hasn't scored at all, and he's one guy they usually rely on to score a lot. Kevin Allen, too, he's played a pretty good game. He's been active, but just 4 points for all of his efforts. He's really, the guy working the hardest out there, it seems like, but not reaping the benefits because MLK just has a lot of size.
If Kevin Allen isn't playing his tail off down low for Atlantic City right now, they're down by 20. It's that simple. But, he's really working hard down there. As a result, they're down by 10. They have a chance here. And these are the games, Mike, at least 2-3 years ago that you always saw Atlantic City trying to get back in and eventually win. Now they have different guys, obviously. Size is not there, but we'll see if they can bring back some of that magic.
They get a turnover to start the fourth quarter here as MLK just kind of throws it away. Mike Frankel here, courtside at the Adrenaline Classic, St. Augustine. The Hermits won earlier today against Pensgrove. Atlantic City in the second game here. They got a showcase game coming up with 2 non-league teams in the third game, and then a Holy Spirit tonight against Haverford School at 6 o'clock. Bounce pass down low. Allen gets a spin move, reverse layup, and Allen gets himself going here in the fourth quarter with his first bucket of the quarter. Nice whip pass down low. Rogers' shot is short, and there's a whistle and a foul. Like Atlantic City always gets that bucket to start, and then boom, the outlet leads right back the other way.
Kevin Allen, a nice move at one end. He actually uses the rim as a shield, goes up on the other side, but you see how quick the Cougars guards are. They're able to inbound the ball and get it past that first line of the Atlantic City defense before the Vikings even turn around.
Rogers at the line, got 2 points. First attempt from the line today. And the first one is good. And Atlantic City, too, that's another one, Mike. They have struggled from the free throw line.
They have. You have to take advantage of chances like that in a game like this. And you're right, historically not a great free throw shooting team, but really poor today.
1 for 7 from the line for Atlantic City. And a pair right there, there's a little bit of a difference. They are shooting the ball much better from the line is MLK. 10-point lead, 7:40 to go. Allen brings the basketball up for the Vikings. They stare at a man-to-man defense. Right side is Thomas. At the top of the key is Redfern putting on the floor. Down low, Williams gets a nice pass from Brevard, and Brevard shot's blocked away. And the rebound comes down to Rogers. Rogers loses the handle, though, as he goes behind the back, and Brevard runs it down. Now he throws a baseball pass down low, and the layup is no good. The easy one is no good, and the rebound comes down to Thomas. Luckily, the left-hand layup is short, and the rebound comes down for Rogers. So all that for naught, as Atlantic City had a couple good looks, and now a frustration foul.
Redfern probably with the one that needed to go in, the least contested shot in that whole sequence, but he sort of short arms it from in close. He's able to get his own rebound, but by that point, MLK sags down on defense, converges in on him, and now all of a sudden you have the Cougars going to the line for a 1-on-1 situation.
Yeah, 1-on-1 here for Taheem Harmon, 5 points in the game. He's done a good job, though, playing some point. They do a really good job, their guards, of beating the pressure and getting up and down that floor as Harmon's free throw's no good. The rebound comes down to Williams. Williams gets it back to Allen. So Allen continuing to bring the ball up here at the 7-minute mark in the ball game. Allen on the left wing. Thomas for 3. He looks at one. It's long. Rebound comes down for Harmon and had a good look.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a wide open 3 for Lamar Thomas. Usually he'll knock that down.
What a pass to Marshall, who gets a catch and a tough, too strong, and the rebound comes down to Allen. It looked like he wasn't ready for that. That one was just fired in now. Allen throws a past the length of the court, and it's knocked out of bounds. But yeah, these guards, they have very good vision.
That pass was on a line, really a crisp pass down low. And like you said, Marshall, the big guy, maybe not even ready for it. If he was, it would have been an easy layup.
Rasul Samir into the game now for Marshall as they get the ball into Thomas. Thomas catches with a 10-point deficit. They stare at that clock, 6:37. Williams on the right wing. Williams at the foul line. Spins, he loses the handle momentarily. Now he runs it down, he gives up the dribble, gets it to Brevard on the right sideline. Now at the elbow, kicks it out between the circles. Williams head fake, 6:20 to play here in the game. Williams gets it in the corner. Allen's three is up and good. And Kevin Allen trying to keep him around as he cuts it to a 37-30 game. And Atlantic City is going to take a timeout with 6:13 left in the game. And Allen not letting Atlantic City go away.
No, wide open on the outside there, able to knock it down, and it's been so tough for him on the inside. Yes, he's done the garbage work down there. He's done what he's had to, but the points have been tough down there. And we've seen over the years Kevin Allen able to step out and knock down that three. Had a couple misses early on, but again, a nice touch and able to knock it down there. Just a huge basket here. Points really at a premium. You're talking about almost midway through the fourth quarter now. The score's in the 30s, so obviously points at a premium. AC needs to sort of chip away with another three or two to really make this thing interesting.
Yeah, and Kevin Allen there has 5 now in the quarter, and he's been the only Viking to score here. But we talked about him as he really has played hard, and the fruits of his labor have not been showing up in the box score today. But now maybe all that hard work will pay off here in this fourth quarter. Can he carry them back as Atlantic City trying to improve to 5-1, taking on MLK today, who is 8-4, and Atlantic City here trailing by 7, Mike. And then, of course, we've got a showcase game coming up next between Montrose Christian of Maryland and St. Benedict's. Now, St. Benedict's played MLK, and that game was an 8-point game, an 8-point win for St. Benedict's. But if you are a basketball fan and you know who they are, St. Benedict's, a premier team in the state of New Jersey, this is a very good MLK team. They went toe-to-toe with St. Benedict's.
We're starting to see the Division I scouts trickle in. Of course, most of them here for the next game, but I'm sure a few checking out some players involved in this one as well.
I thought they were listening to your commentary.
Maybe.
We get it on the elbow here as Rogers gets a shot up, no good.
Architectural
and
wonder.
Rogers takes a shot, and it goes off into the hands of Allen. Allen to Williams. Allen with a long three. Can't get it to fall front rim, but here's Lamar. Lamar with a nice pass down to Brevard, and Brevard gets fouled. So Atlantic City continuing. That's a good, that shot was right on the money there for Allen. If he can, get one of those to fall here, all of a sudden this play's going to erupt.
That was a deep three. The legs maybe just not there for Kevin Allen at this point in the game. I think he's played every minute of this one, and he's worked hard every minute. So no mistake, no surprise that his legs maybe aren't there on a deep three late in the game.
And Brevard, who has struggled from the line today, 0 for 2, as that one go down. And this is where Atlantic City, they need to make these late, 1 for 7 entering the quarter, but they can erase all that if they can get to the line and start to make them here, as Brevard makes it a 6-point game. They've been down by as many as 10. Here they come. Is this going to be another one of those classic Atlantic City comebacks? It's 37-31 with 5:41 to play. Second shot for Brevard, no good, and the rebound comes down to Rogers. Foreman, swing pass down low. The layup is good as they get it in transition for Bell. So the Cougars back in transition again. They lead by 8. They push it back up, 39-31. MLK leads. Up top for Lamar. Over to Williams. Williams with the ball. To Redfern. Over to Thomas at the elbow. Bounce pass down low for Allen. Allen, ball fake, up and under, move, and he's fouled. So Kevin Allen, get me the ball, and he gets to the line.
That's an experienced move right there. You wouldn't see that from a guy playing his first varsity minutes this season. But Kevin Allen has been through the battles down low. He knows how to go against guys much bigger than him. Gives a little up and under there and able to draw the foul.
Yeah, and here comes Allen at the line. Another guy who has struggled at the line. He is now 0 for 3 with that miss.
You simply can't win games that are like this, Mike. This level of a game when you're missing that many free throws. AC shooting about, 15-20% from the line right now. It just simply can't happen. These games are going to be close. These big-time showcase games, you have to at least try to shoot 50% from the stripe to give yourself a chance.
Allen's second shot is good, so they do get one out of that attempt. Out of that trip from Allen. 7-point game. Here comes right back the other way, though. The Cougars in a walk. Foreman it looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to pass that ball or go up with the shot, and he might have taken an extra step, maybe not, I don't know.
In the NBA, that flies right there.
Probably.
High school, no, not so much.
When you're the visiting team in the Cape Atlantic League gym, maybe doesn't fly either.
Yeah, I think you may be right there.
Here's Brevard on the right wing. Far right sideline. 4:48, the clock continuing to count down on Atlantic City. Lamar Thomas tries the entry pass. It's tipped away. They tried to get down to Allen, and it was stolen. MLK with numbers the other way. They get transition, and the shot is up. A tough one by Foreman. He gets to the fall, and he was looking for a foul, but instead he'll take the bucket. 41-32. They lead by 9.
Give the Cougars credit there. A lot of contact, but they fight through it.
Thomas, scoop shot, can't get it to fall, and he goes to the line. So Thomas, now this is one of these times where you just start getting a little out of control sometimes. And, a game that's flying through, you start to see some fouls called. Because it's been a pretty clean game so far.
It has been. Thomas doing what he needs to do, though. You need to slow this game down at this point. Try to get to the line if you can. His three not necessarily been falling, at least the regulation threes. Now the spectacular ones have been falling. But getting to the line smart at this point. Stop the clock. Try to chip away.
Now Thomas makes the first. That one almost came out. Someone almost pushed it back in. He's 2 for 3 from the line. This is his second of 2. That one no good. And just 1 for 2. Another empty trip for the Vikings. Boy, they have really struggled from the line today. I believe they're 4 for 14 unofficially, maybe 4 for 15 from the line.
I don't know many levels where that's going to get it done.
Foreman, spin move. It's short, but he gets his own rebound, and the putback is good. And that's Foreman just hustling there, following his shot.
So deflating, too. I mean, you only come up with 1 point at the other end, and you come back at the other end. And, even when you play solid defense, MLK able to get a shot up on the rim and hit. So you think you're gaining some ground there, and all of a sudden you're down by more than when each possession started.
4 for 14 at the line for Atlantic City. They trail by 10, and there's 10 points right there.
Yeah, things can slip a little bit in a game like this when you're playing against an athletic big team. Like we said, I mean, it feels like AC has been chipping away. I believe they cut it as close as 6 recently, but all of a sudden you look up and it's a 10-point game again, and now desperation time almost with under 4 minutes to go. A game like this where points are hard to come by, that 10-point lead might as well be 12 or 14. But again, Gene Allen talked to me this morning about trying to find that magic again, trying to find that Viking team of old. So we'll see what the Vikings can do down the stretch here.
Redfern on the 1-on-1 is no good. And, of course, another miss for Atlantic City. Here comes Martin Luther King back the other way. Bell, right of the lane, pulls it back out. And Harmon catches the ball with 3:44. Doesn't look like Martin Luther King is trying to use any clock here, though. They're still really aggressive towards the basket. Here's Harmon on the left side. They set up a pass, and Allen steps into the passing lane and gets a steal. Down by 10. Vikings really going to need a push here. Crossing the timeline. At the elbow on the left side and taking the ball to the basket. It's great to get yourself to the line, but you're not going to convert there. You got to figure something else out.
Absolutely. Right idea. Stopping the clock, try to get some easy points. But again, you're looking at a 1-on-1 situation for Atlantic City. You have to at least make the front end to give yourself a chance for some points.
Jamal Williams with the 1-on-1 here for Atlantic City. They trail by 10, 4 for 14 from the line. This would help. And they make the first one. So Williams 1 for 1. He's got 3 points on the game.
Got a future baller trying to get into the game over there, Mike. Got a 2-year-old on the court, and his mom says, you got to wait a couple years, buddy.
I think Gene asked her, can he shoot free throws? She said, yeah. And then she said, get out there. Second one, can't fall. And the rebound comes down to Marshall. Boy, that one did everything but go down. And there is a carry called right in front of us here. Maybe an over and back, but which one was it? He kind of indicated that he carried the basketball.
I'm not sure what that was.
It looked like the player thought he called him for over and back.
It's a turnover either way, and it may have been an over and back, I think eventually is what they called it. You saw one guy in the air, and the other guy had an established position in the front court yet. I think that's what the call was.
Here's Thomas, left wing. Gives the ball down to Redfern, and he gets a nice layup. So Lacion Redfern takes it hard to the basket, and Atlantic City won't go away. They trail 43-36 with 3 minutes to go in the game. Cougars trying to break the pressure. They do. They get 2-on-1, and a layup is strong. The rebound to Marshall, and Marshall gets a layup. And, boy, Tyree Marshall has just been standing on that block all night.
It's almost not fair. AC almost does everything right there, but in the end, you have a guy who's 6'8", getting the easy pass and the layup.
11 points most of them just like that on second chances. Thomas, a right-hand runner, is no good, and Marshall gets the rebound. It's stripped away, but knocked out of bounds. So Marshall with a couple of nice rebounds now, continuing to keep MLK ahead. And there's a foul on the far sideline now on Lamar Thomas. And that will be, I believe, the 9th foul. So still one more until we get the double bonus here.
If you're Gene Allen, you don't mind that foul. 2:30 to go, down by 9. You almost have to start fouling anyway at this point because MLK is about to start taking the air out of the basketball a little bit. So why not send the Cougars to the line, see if you can get a miss on the front end of a 1-and-1.
Here's McCall from the line. He's 2 for 3 now with that make. With 2:30 left to play. Montrose Christian and St. Benedict's next. Holy Spirit and the Haverford School follows. Second one is good, so they make a pair. 47-36, biggest lead of the game for the Cougars. They lead by 11. Right sideline. All the way to the hoop goes Williams, and his pass is tipped out of bounds. You know, when we look at the end of this game, that third quarter was really a tough one for Atlantic City here because other than that, they've pretty much kind of gone toe-to-toe with MLK here.
They really have, but it's one of those situations playing against a team so talented that all of a sudden, if you let up for 1, 2, 3 minutes, it's going to make a difference on the scoreboard, and that's exactly what happened in that third quarter, and it was really the start of the third quarter that was the difference.
Ray Bethea into the game for Atlantic City for the second time as Thomas throws up a wild shot off the top of the glass. He gets it to fall, and just like that, Atlantic City, every time it seems like they're going away, they get some kind of crazy shot to go down, and they're going to need some more of those, though, because they still trail here by 9, but they have not been able to do anything from the line here. This would be big.
Go figure. Lamar Thomas hasn't been able to sink an open shot all night. He's had a half quarter. He's had a circus shot. He's had an end of the clock shot in the first quarter. So making it difficult on himself, but able to at least score some points here. And again, you know, keeping AC in it. Not over yet. Just over 2 minutes to go. Only down by 9. Crazier things have happened.
Sure, and getting them to fall here at the free throw line would help them get back into this game a little closer. They trail by 9 with 2:12 left to play. By the way, Bethea into the game. He's a freshman, 6'3". Atlantic City's going to be, Mike, having a little different look here in about the next week or so, and they're going to be adding 3 players potentially to their roster, at least 2 that we can, you know, for sure know of, and that's a big help because obviously this is a good team, but that can really push them over the top.
Leon Daniels, the big name there. He's a guy who started for Holy Spirit last season, switches schools, going to Atlantic City now, and he'll become eligible soon. I'm not sure it's a guy that Gene Allen will plug right into the starting lineup, but he's a starting caliber player, at least, off of the bench.
2:12 left to go. Thomas makes the free throw, and Atlantic City is going to call a timeout here with 2:12 left to go. They trail at 47-39. Kingpin Bowling, great place to roll for a Super Bowling Sunday. Come out and watch the big game with friends on one of Kingpin's 12-foot high-def screens. Reserve your lane for up to 6 people for only $85 throughout the game, and your group gets unlimited pizza, wings, nuggets, free fries, and soda. Walk-ins are welcome. It's a Super Bowling party at Kingpin Bowling, Sunday, February 1st, located at 6622 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township. Call 641-5117. Reserve your lane today here on 97.3 ESPN and live video on 97.3ESPN.com and acglorydays.com. I heard Dave on the show earlier today with you, you know, really talking about how his magazine, just doing things a little bit different, you know, taking a deeper look at sports, and check out the latest edition of Glory Days magazine coming out on the 16th of January. He's got some really cool stories. He does a great job finding these stories too.
Stuff that's off the beaten path.
Yeah.
We talk so much about basketball, obviously, in the winter, football in the fall, but you'll see stories from Dave about, you know, a soccer coach who was an African refugee who came to this country, stuff like that, stuff you wouldn't get anywhere else.
2:12, back to live action, coming out of the timeout. Atlantic City showing some pressure. MLK doing a good job, really patiently breaking it. They get it across the timeline. Now they look like they're trying to run some clock here as they get it to McCall. Back up top for Harmon, under 2 minutes to play. 47-39 and a foul on the far sideline, and that's going to put Atlantic City in the double situation here. MLK will be shooting 2 the rest of the way.
That's the hand check situation there, Mike. Wasn't even really a hard foul, but Redfern puts his hand on the offensive player, comes away with the foul. It's a situation where the Vikings needed the foul anyway. I'm sure Allen won't mind at this point.
First one good. Really a big difference in this game has been from the line when we look at the end and, take a look at what Atlantic City did. Could have done differently is certainly hit their free throws. Would have made this a much different game at this point with 1:55 left.
Years past, Atlantic City with enough talent to overcome woes from the free throw line. A little bit different situation now. It's an area of concern for Gene Allen.
Nice take by Jamal Williams, and the layup is good, and he gets it to fall. Here, every time it looks like gloom and doom. It's a 10-point lead. That layup makes it. This can get it back to 9. 1:49 to go. Williams at the line with 5 points today, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Atlantic City, by the way, has 1 timeout left, and MLK has a full assortment except for 1:30. And the free throw is no good. It hit the back iron, hit the side of the rim, rolled around, and came out.
There's a lid on the basket down there for Atlantic City in free throws. I mean, they're not bad-looking shots. They're shots that are simply rolling off or bouncing off the rim.
McCall spins of the inbounds, fires a pass across the timeline to Foreman. Foreman now spinning to the elbow, cross-court pass. 1:38 to go. Atlantic City trails by 8. They get it up top, and a wide-open Harmon puts the ball on the floor. Now he kicks it back out, killing some more clock. They had an easy layup look, but they elected to kill the clock. Good defense there by Williams, and a hand check call, though, with 1:24 left, an 8-point game, and it looks like Foreman's going to go back to the line.
That was pretty good defense by Williams right there. Again, a situation where you don't mind a foul because you have to stop the clock, but that's how AC plays defense, body to body. Didn't see a lot of contact there. Again, maybe they get him for the hand check.
Going to come up with the Boost Mobile player who gave their team the biggest boost coming up after the game tonight. Foreman at the line, hits the first one. Second attempt here is good. So Foreman hits a pair. Foreman crosses the timeline.
Freshman with a little fortitude right there, Mike. That's Ray Bethea on the dribble. Hearing chants of "Go Ray" from the crowd, and why not? Able to draw the foul again, stop the clock, and try to close the gap a little bit here as the Vikings trail by 10 with 1:20 to go.
51-41. First one is no good. As Buchanan, the freshman, at the line. 1:20 to go. Buchanan's second shot is no good. 0 for 2 for that trip there. Still a 10-point game. 51-41. 1:14 left to play. Atlantic City trails by 10. MLK with the basketball. Harmon, a little jab step, trying to get by Thomas. Goes to the left wing, left of the lane. Now pulls it back out. Now goes baseline. Double team. Gets it to Rogers. Back up top. Into the deep right corner. Very good patience by this MLK team. Under a minute to play in the basketball game. Foreman working on Buchanan. Takes it to the paint. Now flips it back out. Now a pass is tipped into the passing lane by Thomas, and it goes out of bounds. So MLK really doing a good job of killing the clock, and it doesn't look like Atlantic City's really trying to do much to prevent that either.
At this point, 40 seconds to go, just about done, especially the way Atlantic City's been shooting free throws. They'll continue to pressure the basketball, but I'm not sure they're in foul mode at this point.
All right, Foreman bounces it. Still 30 seconds to go. Bounce pass up top for Foreman, who really did a good job controlling this game as well. They had some good guard play to control the tempo of this game at times. Jab step out, and MLK obviously going to go on and win this game, but Atlantic City really hurt themselves at the free throw line. We'll get you the totals on that in the end. And we'll also have our player who gave their team the biggest boost coming up from Boost Mobile as the clock hits zeros here at St. Augustine tonight as MLK beats Atlantic City 51-41 here on 97.3 ESPN and 97.3 ESPN.com. We'll take a quick timeout. When we return here, we'll give you our Boost Mobile player who gave their team the biggest boost and recap this one here on 97.3 ESPN. As the clock hits zeros here